And a very good Friday afternoon to you. I hope I find you very well on what is, I have to say, yet another lovely, delightful, actually, warm day here in Manchester. I think I've gone through some kind of portal and arrived in an alternate Manchester where it isn't grey, it isn't windy, it isn't rainy, and it isn't cold. So I'll enjoy it while I can. I want to ask you a very important question, something you may not know the answer to because, quite rightly, perhaps you are ignorant about this fact. So here's the question. Did you know that you were scum? Did you know? Well, let me tell you what's prompted this question. It is our fearless new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, KC, who has decided to transmorph the Labour Party that used to be the old kind of left-wing-ish workers supporting party here in the UK to a brand new form of the Stasi, who now want to control everything about the country, everything about its people, both the indigenous peoples and the long settled peoples in this country, to negate their right to free speech, to negate their right to have any freedom of opinion, to defend the rights and freedoms that we've always enjoyed in this country, to negate our right to give our view regarding ongoing problems in this country, such as the attack on an army officer a couple of weeks back by a black gentleman, the attack this week by a black Rwanda English-based 17-18-year-old person on children at a summer dance class here in Southport in the northwest of England. They don't like how we, the great unwashed and ill-educated people, especially here in the north, have the absolute gall to have an opinion and give our opinions public airing regarding this. They immediately want to clamp us down. They want to stop us demonstrating, whether that be peaceful or angrily. They have actually put into place what appears to be a two-tier policing system, and what I mean by that is that if you look at the riot that was in Hare Hills over in Leeds, you had a certain ethnicity of people who were protesting and marching there regarding a Romani family's problems that they were having, and the police to a certain extent kind of stood by and didn't do anything regarding the aggravated attitudes that were going on during that protest. The police didn't do anything when the riots were in place in Rochdale a couple of weeks ago, following the outrageous attack on the police constables at Manchester Airport, which was caused problems with the Muslim community over in Rochdale and Oldham area, but the police stood by and did nothing there, and yet when you have situations where people have been so outraged about a number of children being killed and others who are still critically ill in hospital, as well as a couple of adults who are still quite ill in hospital, and white English people take to the streets and lose their temper, the police force come out en masse and basically say that we are racist, fascist criminals. I find it stunning that even before these things happened, that anyone thought that the Labour Party would be any good for this country. And what we have now is a political body who, from what I can see, want to enforce a totalitarian state where we are going to be monitored and watched, and our social media listened to and filed and indexed, and anything that we may say that goes against their agenda will put us in a position where we potentially could have the police knocking on our doors for hate crimes, especially people like myself and obviously bigger channels who want to make these kind of videos. What I want to say at this point to yourselves who are SCUM and myself as a member of the SCUM fraternity, I want to put a kind of an accusation out there that Keir Starmer is a racist, and he's not a racist against the BAME communities in any way. In fact, during the BLM marches and big public image that they put forward, we found that him and his right hand man Angela Rayner took the picture where they took the knee to the awful organisation. But obviously that's perfectly okay because he's supporting black individuals and black organisations. He doesn't, as a white man, he's so ashamed obviously of being white himself that he has now ingrained hatred for anybody who looks like him, who has love for this country. I used to say not too long ago that our last Prime Minister, who obviously was Indian, had no love for this country, and I'm still convinced of that. I am slightly taken aback, however, that a white Prime Minister also apparently hates this country and its people. Now, I say its people, I don't necessarily mean all its people. I mean the poor people who work in kind of maybe industrial areas, both in the south and in the north. He and his political elite, such as IET Cooper, the Home Secretary, you will see if you watch her speeches, she is totally different in her approaches to the media interviews she gives when it's ethnic minority marches, such as the ones that happen in every major city on a Saturday, promoting Gaza and supporting Hezbollah and Hamas and people like that. They're all for the police supporting that and the political class supporting them. But as soon as the English patriots come out, as they did last Saturday, they put a block on media companies covering it and break out the police there and call everybody who arrives supporting our national pride and the way that we live and the life that we've always lived and the way that this country has the greatest history on the planet. As soon as we start to voice our opinions regarding that, we are far right racists who really should be silenced, shackled and put away. Our current Prime Minister is wanting to become a dictator, and he will actually achieve that thanks to a what appears to be a massive majority in the House, but they actually didn't get that many votes from what was quite a small turnout at the last general election. What can we do about this? Well, the only thing we can do about this is enjoy our freedoms still as little as they are, and support everybody, whether that be Mr. Robinson or anybody else who may come out and voice the patriotic opinions that are absolutely right. We need to stand against the mass immigration that's coming in. We need to stand against anybody who may have black or brown skin who feel as though they have the right to complain about this great charitable country that we are, that's giving them a standard of living way beyond people who may well be on receipts of benefits, let's say, who are getting houses in front of the queue of homeless servicemen who've served the Crown for many years in our forces. I think it's abominable that the people who voted for this should be able to do it without any slur against their name. If you know anyone who voted Labour, make sure that they understand what they've done, what the damage will be to this once great country. Keir Starmer is a dictator in the waiting, and things are only going to get worse. Things are bad enough right now, and we're 3 weeks, a month into his government. Just wait until he gets real hold of what's going to happen. We've already seen that the winter payments for old people have been reduced. The pension, I think, will be means tested at some point very, very soon. But the most important thing is this. My belief is that this all started with COVID. COVID was nothing about a disease. It was everything about control. It was everything about taking away our rights and freedoms and privileges, and how easily that we can be controlled as a population, and so many people fell for that. Well, this is a continuation of the COVID mandate. They know that the population can be controlled. They know that a large percentage of the population are sheep and will just do as they're told. But because of the Patriots' March last week, they now also know that the people are finding their voice. And we need to continue to find our voice. Stand proud. Stand strong. Do not do anything that will possibly get you arrested. Although Keir Starmer and his cronies are going to try to change things via the law, that regardless what you do, regardless whether you think it's your freedoms and your right as a British person, they will move it around and make sure that it's massaged to a way that we are breaking some form of law or legislation. So be very careful what you do, but make sure you stand against this awful Stasi government as much as you possibly can. So if it is the fact that you are indeed scum, bear in mind you are the correct kind of scum, and you will be on the right side of history. If things carry on, this dreadful, dreadful government will not last the 5-year course. Over the next 3 years there will be a number of by-elections. Those by-elections will fall towards Reform UK. Join Reform UK. Make their forces stronger, more financially secure. Do it. Contact your local MP. Complain about everything that your council and central government are doing regarding your area. But stand strong. Stand proud. It doesn't matter whether you're English, Northern Irish, Welsh or Scottish. This country needs to be a strong union. This country needs to stand against this awful, tyrannical Labour Party. If you have any feelings about this, by all means let me know down below. Please can I ask you, subscribe. The algorithm over the last couple of weekends has been going wild. If you watch a lot of YouTube, you will see that many bigger channels than mine have been losing subscribers. I am losing subscribers. They do not like, YouTube do not like people they cannot control. My videos are not monetized. They cannot say to me, we will demonetize you to stop you saying what you're saying. They can do nothing to me. Yes, alright, they can perhaps sanction me or close my channel down, but they cannot threaten me with taking my money away. I do not have monetization on this channel. So please subscribe. This will allow my content to get further out there to people like you who want to hear about this kind of thing. Please put this video out on your social media. If you remember, on Facebook or Twitter X or whatever you use, put this, just put it out there. People need to see this message and get this message out there. You need to stand against a political party who are corrupt, who are not the Labour Party that I grew up knowing when my dad was an engineer. He was not the trade unionist that supported the Workers' Labour Party when I was a boy. So that's it for this one. Please subscribe. Let's get my numbers up. Let's get this message out there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a nice day today in the sunshine. I believe it's not going to be too bad over the weekend, and if it isn't, have a nice weekend with your family. So until something else comes along in my head, I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.